Rhea. So glad to have you with us today on this podcast. Rhea has been a client with the Business Advisory Centre Durham, also known as the BACD, and a participant of the Starter Company Plus program. BACD strives to be the go-to business resource for individuals looking to start or grow a business in the Durham region. We are one of 53 centers across Ontario. Our mission, that entrepreneurs we serve achieve business success. You're invited to visit our website at bacd.ca to learn more about us. Rhea is owner and director of Creative Connexions Performing Arts Centre. After being put into dance at the young age of 2, but not feeling like she belonged in the industry until she was pursuing her Bachelor of Fine Arts in Dance at York University, Rhea's passion for wanting to be a dance educator that changes lives developed. After traveling across Canada and the Caribbean, teaching dance in many styles, dancing with a professional dance company, and doing her BEd in dance and history, she couldn't quite find a teaching home that fit her teaching philosophy. This led her in 2018 to start a performance arts center to train and educate dancers in the Durham region from a holistic approach of mind, body, and heart. Rhea now plays an active part in the dance community as a conference speaker, dance writer, dance curriculum writer for the TCDSB, and president of the board of directors for the dance company Ballet Creole. Her superpower, she is a doer. In her words, finding action items where people may find roadblocks, doing in 4 hours what others might do in 8 hours, and having extreme execution is definitely her superpower. And she doesn't add in there, but she's also a mom, which is crazy. Hello, Rhea. It's so good to have you with us. I'm so excited to speak with you because it's been a few months now. And I know when we last spoke, you had just completed the program, and that was towards the end of 2019. And you were starting to pick up momentum. You have a beautiful studio space. Maybe you can enlighten me. Tell me what's happened. So tell me what was happening just before lockdown. So we'll start there. What was happening just before lockdown?
So just before lockdown, we were looking into developing some new in-studio programs, trying to fill up our space for the whole day, because we are predominantly running evening classes, but we were looking into starting a daytime program for pre-schools and classes, branching out to adult classes. So we were really looking to take optimal growth right before March hit us, and with the support of BACD, it felt really possible, right? So when we got hit, I knew that, should I not answer that question just yet? Are we not that far? We're just catching up on what happened before. So we were getting ready for optimal growth. I was going ahead of the time. So optimal growth, and our third season. So we were really starting to just pick up momentum in terms of people getting to know us in the community, doing community outreach projects, and starting to grow our brand in the community, as well as grow in numbers. We doubled from our first to our second year, so our goal was to double again going into the third year.
Perfect. And if I remember correctly, your studio was located in Ajax, is that correct?
We're located in Ajax. Our major intersection is Wesley and Bailey, or Monarch and Bailey is the intersection right before our studio.
Perfect. So lockdown happens and everybody's scrambling. How did you, as the word of the day right now is pivot, or another word is evolve now to where you are today? What sort of action steps did you have to take, or decisions did you have to make in order to stay the ground?
So I always say we're really lucky to be in the position that we were with the size that we were. I find bigger companies and really small companies all have their own issues. Being a medium-sized company really worked in our favor in terms of COVID and numbers. But a official announcement was set in March, right before we went on March break. I gathered my staff even right before we even hit March break and said, we need a plan. So by the time we got back, when we should have restarted classes, we had already developed our online system in terms of how we were going to see having online dance classes and taking our whole schedule and making it an online system so that we could continue training our dancers, because the optimal goal, how do we keep our classes running? So optimally, everybody was on board because it was a dire situation, especially being such a physical and community-based business. It was important to keep the community up to date in communication and feeling like we never stopped going. So immediately, as soon as we came back from March break, we started our online classes, and all of our classes had live online classes as well as pre-recorded material to upkeep any other training needs that they needed, especially our babies, because we're not sure of how we were going to assist parents and engage our babies just yet. But that developed into a really cool project that I'll probably end up talking after. But so basically we jumped right into online, and the whole business became online, and the studio closed for till July or August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rhea was saying is that they were able to quickly adapt to the changes and were able to use technology, the online technology, to continue to provide the programs and the classes to their community, which was amazing. I'm going to then ask two last questions. The first one, or definitely one of them, is that special program that you talked about, how you were able to adapt specific to a younger age audience, which obviously in many statistically doesn't have the longest attention span. So to keep them in technology, I'm curious to find out what you did. So my question before that one, because I'll ask you to end off with that one, sort of the positive spin in it, is what surprised you? Like going through this whole thing, even as a business, especially as a business owner, what surprised you?
Well, what really surprised me, I think, was because I'm a meticulous person, was how much I needed the tech to work the way I needed it to work to support my business. And I think that's a roadblock for a lot of us now, having to dive into tech when maybe we didn't base our businesses in the technical realm of things. So I ended up actually redoing the whole website to basically be centered around it being technologically accessible and working towards it being more enhancive of the customer journey. So it really, I guess, another thing that surprised me was how important that customer is, no matter what providing, because, well, in our service-based industry, in most service-based industries, I find you really rely on the in-person interaction that you have with your customer sometimes to keep those relationships. So when you don't have that aspect and you're trying to find other ways to connect with the customer and you've never done that before, it becomes a real challenge. So I think that also surprised me how valuable those moments are in person with your customer, in person with whoever you're providing your service to. I think was a really enlightening to me, and it sparked a lot of conversations within my team about how much we need to focus on what we value, what we believe in, what we want to and what we want to stand for during this time, and how many different things we could stand for. I think my last surprise would have to be is I didn't realize how strong of a team I built. I'm very proud of the team that I built and how they stuck by me through everything, how the normal concerns that your team may have kind of were put aside to say, like, how do we survive this? How do we make it through? What do you need to do? What do you want us to come together to do? And this team that I had going into COVID, I still have now, and I'm very blessed to have them. And so I didn't realize what kind of leadership qualities I had as a business owner until we really went into COVID, and I had to like put them into action without even realizing it. So those surprises were good surprises. But I guess if you want to hear a negative surprise that I had was I was talking how important the in-person interactions are and how important if you only base your business with one type of customer relation, that when you need other ones, it can really be detrimental to the survival of your business, because if people only have one way to connect with you, one way that they feel to you, so to say in layman terms, then any other way is like a roadblock. That's not how we want to do it, so we can't move forward anymore. So I really like diversity is important.
No, that's a great message too. And so what I heard is that what really rose in this occasion was leadership skills, the importance of having a common vision, mission, values that your team can stand behind. So it's very clear that everybody sort of buys into that, and that having the right support, having that right team. And that really does start with who you bring on board in the beginning stages. And I love that lesson. It becomes a lesson, that surprise that wasn't such a great surprise, but the lesson in knowing to offer multiple ways of staying connected. And I think that's where some people, so do I really want them on social media? And do I really want them to bombard them to sign up for an email or to follow the website? Yes, because at least this way, if something drops, you have other ways to stay connected. So I think that's a great message coming through that experience that you've just shared. So wrap us up with this amazing new project that you've been able to launch for this whole process, because it's a new opportunity, and wow, silver lining, right?
It is 100%. So when I redid the website, I signed up for, I got some help doing more technical journey through my website. I like to talk, my website is a living, breathing thing now that I'm very attached to. So when we were working with our preschoolers, so my daughters are 2 and 5, they're also bilingual. So I was looking for ways to support them in their at-home learning, but I still believe in the artistic journey. And it was very hard to, just do the basic dancing that maybe we would have done in studio with the props and this and that. And like the parents don't have all that at home right now. So there were lots of roadblocks with our preschoolers. So we developed a program that we call the Little Learners Academy, and we're still in the process of, did a beta testing of it, where basically you get a half an hour live dance class, you get 3 academic worksheets and 2 coloring sheets. You get a prop kit, you get a craft so if it's a 4-week session, you get a craft video per week, and all themed weeks. So all the worksheets, the coloring sheets, and the crafts are themed towards whatever the dance class is involved with. And we do the whole program in English, do the whole program in French to support both learning pathways. And we built out the courses online. So when the parent buys the class, they get their class. Before, we had a live half an hour class. It is very strenuous on the teacher side. So we built it into a class plus pre-recorded classes the parent can choose the time that they do it with their child. That was another issue, timing. So the beta really helped us to refine it. And now we are launching our full site with many different themes and also age progression. So for a 2-year-old, for a 3-year-old, for a 4-year-old, before they go to grade 1, yeah, senior kindergarten, goes up to senior kindergarten before they go up to grade 1. Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. Also took a team that I am very close to. Really reached out to other dance professionals who have also taken up the tech world seriously, because that's also hard in our industry to transfer your art side and your tech side and find people who are passionate about both. So I happen to be one of those, and this program was born out of also the need to help my own children. So that was also a wonderful thing. And then in the process, I learned that half my studio is bilingual. All the preschoolers go to immersion.
That's fascinating.
French immersion, or Yeah, it was really fascinating to hear the population. We offered it as in the beta, we offered both classes so they could take the French and the English just to expose their child to other languages. And all the feedback came back as our child is going to French version, our child is going to a French school. So they appreciated it. And so we want to continue that and build on that program. And hopefully it could be a source, to help keep our connectivity and help keep building our community over whatever comes next in our lives.
Yeah, for sure. But that's
the reality.
It's exciting news, and it also shows what comes about when the need arises and how quickly we can adapt. And that's the entrepreneurial spirit and mindset, is focusing on the solutions. And like you said, you discovered it for your own and recognize, oh, wait a moment, if I'm having that issue, maybe others do, and within your own community. So that's the dance community and everything. That's brilliant. So I'm so very happy for you, Rhea. It's wonderful to see you and to catch up. And I wish you continued success. I know our connection is so broken today. I'm really hoping the recording is fluid for our listeners. I hope you've been able to take away some amazing little snippets of information that Rhea has shared, some of the lessons that have been learned, and some of the skills that she's been able to develop going through this whole process. Rhea, thank you again. And to the listeners, please feel free to reach out. Look for Rhea's information. Her website will be on the cover slide of this podcast and for the bacd.ca website as well. Be well, stay safe, everybody. Bye, Rhea.
Bye. Thank you for having me.